Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I will be doing my November wrap-up. So I ended up reading a total of 5 books this month, which I was pretty pleased about considering one book was almost 1,000 pages. So I was pretty pleased that I was able to finish this. But I've done a really good job at finishing my TBR, so I was really happy that I did take a good chunk out of it as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and before I forget, just a reminder, if you want to go check out my monthly vlog on my vlog channel, you can go and check that out. I'll link up in the cards and down below. But what I'm thinking in going into the new year is that I will kind of do some spontaneous vlogging on this channel and just keep my old channel, my vlog channel up, but use this primarily as a vlog channel. So let me know if you guys are interested in kind of seeing more vlog style type things. I'm not going to be doing Vlogmas this year just because of the my grandmother passing away, so it's going to be a difficult Christmas, I think, for everyone, so I'll kind of want to respect that, but definitely keep your eyes peeled for this summer. I'm doing something really exciting, and in addition to my really big announcement that I'm going to be announcing in May. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled out for that, but I won't be doing Vlogmas this year. I've done it for the past 2 years, but I need to take a break this time around. But let's just go ahead and jump into my reading wrap-up. So first I ended up reading The Bear and the Nightingale by Cress and Arden, and this is a book that I've wanted to read for so long, but I wasn't sure how I feel about it, so I checked this one out from the library, and it's about this, it's like based on Russian folklore, and I think it's just best to not really go into this knowing too much about the plot, just kind of go into it, immerse yourself. And it did take me a while to get into this book, and I'd say around the halfway point was where I really started to get invested in the story, and there's something really creepy about this and eerie, and I was just like, this is like actually quite frightening, which I really liked that aspect of it. It was very unique, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, the first part was very slow and there wasn't a lot of plot development, but once I kind of got to the halfway point where things started to pick up, I was like all hands on deck with this book, so I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to continue on with this series in the new year, and I think that will be something to look forward to as well. And then I also ended up listening to the audiobook for Cress, which is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and this was like a reread for me. I read these a couple years ago, and Cress was my favorite out of the whole series, and I really enjoyed the narrator. I think she really makes these books come alive, and she puts on such a great performance. So I found I was really enjoying like the book this time around, and I love Cress and Thorn. I think they're so cute together. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this book. Obviously I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, but yeah, definitely if you read the Lunar Chronicles as a book, which I did, I think it's a really good idea to go back and re-listen to these as the audiobook, because the narrator does such a good job with just making it so interactive and you're always listening. So even when I was driving to and from work, I'd always be listening to it as well. So yeah, like I said, you can, most libraries, but I would assume would have these, is where I get the audiobooks from. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one as well. So next, this is the 1,000-page book that I was talking about, and it is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the final book in the Throne of Glass series. I also ended up buddy reading this with my friend from my master's program when we were in grad school. I kind of got her into this series. I remember I was reading Empire of Storms, and she asked me like, well, what are you reading? So I got her into this series, and so we buddy read this together, which was a lot of fun actually. So we read about 100 pages and then we video chat, because she's kind of at the other end of the country. So it was really nice kind of seeing her again and having actually someone that I could like talk to the book about, because I have you guys but I don't have anyone to talk to kind of in real time about this. So I was really happy to kind of have that experience with her, and I feel like especially with the last couple Throne of Glass books, I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon, but this book really did a good job at tying everything together, and I found that I was actually kind of invested in the story and in the characters and all of that stuff. So I didn't, like, my one complaint was that I don't think it needed to be like 980 something pages. It did feel a bit too long, and for the first part of the book, like, they're kind of all moving around and trying to all come together. And the ending was a little bit convenient, but I think this is a very satisfying ending to the series, especially when the ups and downs. I feel like it's worth waiting around for this one. So yeah, this one, yeah, that's all I kind of want to say. I have my kind of more in-depth review, but I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about this book already. But overall, I was, like I said, I actually really enjoyed this, which is I was pretty surprised about, because the last couple books I wasn't really too sure about, but I actually really enjoyed myself with this one. So I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars as well. So next I ended up reading the screenplay for the Crimes of Grindelwald by J.K. Rowling, and I was really super excited. This book is just gorgeous as well. I love this color as well, but I ended up seeing the movie with my brother when it came out on the 19th, I want to say, on the Friday. So me and my brother ended up seeing it, and even though the reviews are very mixed about it, I really enjoyed it. And so if you go in to the movie, or even this as well, knowing that it's setting everything up for the next 3 films, I think you'll be okay. And I think, like, the big reveal at the end, I think, like, people need to understand that, like, this isn't like the Harry Potter movies, and because it's not in a book format or a novel format, like, some of the stuff you get as a reader you wouldn't get from the movie context. So I think I really enjoyed it. I like seeing the characters. I like getting introduced to these new magical worlds. I love Jude Law as Dumbledore. So I think if you go in knowing that this is just kind of setting up the background information and kind of getting the plot movie for the last 3 films, then I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I think it was really good for me seeing the movie and then, like, the day after picking this up, because I'm not used to reading scripts. So it just kind of helped me visualize what was going on, and there were some parts in here that I picked up on that I'm like, okay, I think that actually, like, I kind of just didn't catch watching the movie. I'm like, okay, I think that's something that's going to be really important, or this is what I think is gonna happen in the next one. This is what I think, like, kind of, it's the last thing. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm thinking is happening, or what's gonna happen in the later films. So I really enjoyed this, and this book is just stunning. So you can tell I was really excited about this one. So of course I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Finally, the last book that I read was the Tales and Teacups book club picks for the months of November and December, and it was Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I was really excited for this book when she announced that she'd kind of have this memoir, and I really liked this. Actually, I was very pleasantly surprised, not even surprised by it. I was just really excited, and it was just so good. I think Michelle Obama is just a very inspiring woman, and she I think she handled herself very well being in the public's eye, and I think she and Barack did a really good job of just kind of representing the country just with dignity and respect. And her memoir really goes into kind of her upbringing, growing up poor in Chicago. This is not a political book. It does not have a political agenda whatsoever, which I really appreciated. Of course it does talk about some politics because that's her world, but she keeps this very much, this is her story of her becoming herself. And so it was really interesting kind of just how she, like, if you look where she started out and where she ended up, it's really amazing. She makes herself very relatable as well. I think in here she mentions, like, she like went to like Ivy League schools to become a lawyer, and then once she was a lawyer, she realized that she didn't really like being a lawyer, and that was something that I can relate to now, just kind of being in your 20s, and I'm kind of on that same path as well, where you spend like so much money and like time going above and beyond for school, realizing that the career you chose was wrong. So I really am like, okay, if Michelle Obama can, if this happened to Michelle Obama and she turned out okay, I'm like, okay, I'm like, it's gonna be okay for me as well. So I really enjoyed this. I loved kind of her perspective of kind of following her husband through kind of his political journey, and just kind of her thoughts and emotions going into it, and learning about life living in the White House, and just like, I don't know if I would respond well to that type of environment, but just how she adapted, and just kind of the interesting people that she met, and how she didn't just want to sit there and look pretty. She had a mission, which I really enjoyed kind of reading, just kind of her journey through this whole thing. So of course I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It's just a really good book, and I think it's something young women, like teenagers, can relate to, even little kids as well, are kind of like middle school age, and then like I think every person has some aspect in here that they can relate to or have gone through similar things. So yeah, I could not recommend this book enough. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what books you read this month and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.